I just came home 5 hours early. I never expected to catch my wife cheating, but I didn't confront her. Instead, I went to the bedroom. The messy sheet still felt warm, and that was a slap to my dignity. Once I confirmed the truth, I stayed calm, because I already had the perfect revenge plan in mind. That evening, I returned home like nothing happened. My wife was clearly surprised to see me back so early. I didn't expose her right away. Instead, I asked her for a hug. She brushed me off and tried to walk away, but she didn't expect me to suddenly call out to her. Then I aimed at her head and pulled the trigger without hesitation. The gunshot immediately drew the gardener's attention. He knocked on the door asking what happened, but I wasn't nervous at all. I fired a few shots out the window, just to make sure the gardener would call the police. Once I got what I wanted, I moved my wife's body, then picked up the shell casings and wiped off all the prints. I tossed the shirt I wore while shooting into the fire. All that was left was to wait for the police. Soon the villa was surrounded by police cars. I requested a cop named Hank to come in and negotiate, and the police agreed to my terms. I calmly confessed to the crime, but when Hank saw the photo on the wall, he rushed over in shock and broke down because he was my wife's lover. After grieving for a moment, Hank pinned me to the ground without hesitation, then beat me senseless. I was arrested on the spot, and my wife was still breathing and sent to the ER. But inside the police car, I showed a wicked smile. Then I was charged with attempted murder. The prosecutor on the case was Tom, a young attorney with a 97% conviction rate, and with the weapon and my written confession, he thought this case was already won. But all of this was exactly what I expected.
Do you wish to enter a plea at this time?
There's not guilty, but I also want to waive my right to counsel and represent myself.
Surely you won't have trouble finding an attorney, Mr. Crawford?
No, but I want to do it myself.
Your Honor, if I could have a moment with my client.
I'm not your client, try and keep up, will you?
Mr. Crawford, you're facing some very serious charges here. I strongly urge you to retain counsel.
That's very kind, but I believe I'm within my rights.
Be aware that lack of counsel will not be grounds for an appeal.
Oh, I understand.
My words stunned everyone, and I waived my right to a preliminary hearing. The next court date would go straight to trial. Tom still believed this case would be another easy win, but the next day he hit a wall, because the gun they found had never been fired. There was no gunpowder on my hands, no blood on my clothes, and no fingerprints on the shell casings, which meant there was no murder weapon at all. But Tom insisted the real gun had to be somewhere in the house. Still, things were clearly turning against him, so he decided to take it seriously. He visited me in prison, obviously hoping to get something useful out of me, but I'd already had a private detective look into him. Tom was brilliant, but his family was poor. I offered him a huge sum to defend me, but Tom rejected it immediately.
Oh, have they found the gun?
I don't need the gun to convict you.